Good to see you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Welcome. But again, it seems like, so they're both the President and Hillary Clinton, Secretary Clinton, boarding Air Force One. But again, it adds a little bit of controversy to which it seemed like an easy trip for them to North Carolina.
Well, I would think so because, listen, Donald Trump can't raise money, and we know he's broke. And, of course, when you're paying for Donald Trump's airplane, fuel costs a lot of money. So I can imagine he's very concerned because Hillary's raised $70 million last month. So Donald doesn't have cash. Maybe he'll license something in North Carolina. We don't know. Maybe Trump University. But literally, it's done.
This is a ridiculous thing to say.
You're not saying he's broke, that he's personally bankrupt, are you?
Well, Donald Trump, we know, is not a billionaire. I mean, come on, guys. We know you're in a business network here. We know he's not a billionaire, and we know he needs cash.
Well, we don't know that, actually.
You're peddling insanity.
Let's talk about this. Wouldn't you think you actually would release your tax returns if you were a billionaire?
Consider myself broke.
You have a mayor here who's self-made entrepreneur, has been incredibly successful, thank God, went into public service. I know, we know, Donald Trump has problems and cash flow problems, and clearly he can't raise money on the trail right now.
Well, I know for a fact, talking to people who are raising money with him, that these fundraisers have been incredibly successful. And we're talking about, there was one fundraiser that he did that included the RNC committees here in New York City at Le Cirque. I think it was a lunch or a breakfast, and they brought in about $6 million just in that lunch. So to say he's broke, let's put it into perspective. She has been raising more money than him, but at the end of May, he had a little more than $1 million in the bank, but they had just started raising money in May from outside donors.
Where's Carl Icahn? I mean, you talk about Carl Icahn being a Secretary of Treasury. Carl Icahn is nowhere to be found. He's MIA. Matter of fact, he actually does live in Miami, but he can't be found anywhere.
Let's take it back to Hillary. I thought we were going to be talking about...
Well, Mr. Mayor, you're talking about everything but the fact that Hillary Clinton is making history with Barack Obama because he's the first sitting president in U.S. history to campaign for a president for the United States that is under federal investigation. Well, this is a remarkable moment, and not just that, he's footing the bill to fly on the campaign trail with
Donald Trump is under federal IRS investigation. It's incredible to me.
You're talking about...
You mean the audit? You mean he's being audited?
I know. A routine audit where he can show his tax returns. I'm not an American citizen who's ever had that problem before.
You just called an audit an investigation.
Well, wouldn't you say the IRS are investigating his IRS returns? What do you call an audit?
Mr. Mayor, can we highlight the irony that it's Hillary Clinton who won't call an FBI investigation that very thing? She insists on calling it a security inquiry when the FBI director said, I don't know what that is. This is an investigation.
They spend millions of dollars. There's nothing. She was so happy to meet with the FBI, of course. And what's going to happen is nothing because the fact of the matter is she did not send any confidential emails. And it was not a secret. That's not true. So you have a direct access to the FBI.
No, you can go to WikiLeaks. No, let me finish. Go to WikiLeaks.org and you can read the emails and you can see the redacted bits. Why were bits of the emails redacted? Because they were classified or they were confidential.
The fact of the matter is that the FBI
what you just said is not true. You just made an inaccurate statement because you're trying to cover up for the fact that she has a track record of putting her own political expedience against before national security.
That's not true.
No, that is absolutely
has a history of defrauding people. Come on, you didn't study at Trump University.
If you were subpoenaed by the FBI for all of your emails as part of federal investigation,
you've been in public office for 25 years,
and you elected,
everybody has a cottage industry.
I do want to raise this issue, though.
A cottage industry, the FBI? Are you kidding me?
As a Hillary Clinton supporter and a surrogate, you know that she has problems with trustworthiness in polls. How do you speak to the people who are on the fence and don't trust her? Well, and this comes up with Loretta Lynch having a private meeting with Bill Clinton, the president, boarding her jet and having a private meeting.
Let's talk about both issues you brought up. Number one, let's talk about what the American people do trust about Secretary Clinton. They trust that she will get the job done because she has a history of getting things done. First Lady, United States Senator, Secretary of State, they trust that. The second thing regarding Lynch and President Clinton, listen, we know President Clinton. I know him very, very well. I don't care if Donald Trump was on the tarmac. He would have invited him on the plane to say hello. He's a friendly, warm guy. Nothing was discussed whatsoever.
Why was she burning her schedule when she was Secretary of State? Can you address that report of the burn bags? Huma Abedin was interviewed and said that they were burning the schedule. And from what I understand, you're not supposed to do that. Destroy the Secretary of State's schedule.
The fact of the matter is burning schedule. Know nothing about that. These seems like some kind of fiction that we brought out of the air.
No, it came up in the deposition.
Well, you know what? I haven't read that particular particular part of the deposition, so I don't know about burning schedules.
It's the Freedom of Information Act request suit that whom Abadan.
I think the bottom line is she's gone through the entire process. She's meeting with the FBI. She's happy to do so, and I think everyone, we believe nothing will come of this.
I want to
add another process of going off the Secretary Clinton.
I do want to ask you about that.
Sure.
So she sat down with the FBI this weekend about the investigation into her private email server. And one thing I noticed in the New York Times article, so you have President Clinton boarding this plane and having a private meeting with Loretta Lynch. And then they have the FBI interview with Secretary Clinton. So in the article in the New York Times, it said, according to Democrats close to the Clinton campaign, that Hillary Clinton might keep Loretta Lynch as her attorney general if she was elected president. And that just smells so awful. And again, it goes back to the fact that people think that the Clintons do not play by the rules, that they play by their own set of rules. And I've heard Democrats say that, like ardent liberal Democrats say that.
Listen, as far as her hiring Loretta Lynch, I think this is more hearsay. This is more, we have a nice Jewish word called bubamaiza, which means a grandmother's tale, okay? It's not real fact, all right? But the fact of the matter is, Loretta Lynch was on the plane. President Clinton is the friendliest, warmest person we know. If Donald Trump had been on the tarmac, he would have invited him in to talk to him. That's his personality.
There was no.
Come on. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't make a difference.
President Clinton
never, ever have the conversation
This is a ridiculous thing to say. He will be the target of an investigation as it relates to the Clinton Foundation. He can be called as a witness as part of the email server investigation.
Called an investigation? They're going to investigate President.
They're under.
I've never heard of such a thing. I can't believe the Republicans are going to investigate.
There's a cover-up happening in the daylight.
That's a shocker.
And this was supposed to be the most transparent administration that we've ever had. And what we've gotten instead, and I voted for Barack Obama, and what we've gotten instead was more of the same.
I think we're most excited about the fact that Hillary Clinton is going to North Carolina, a state that Donald Trump must win, and of course he's not going to, and he's not going to win Florida either.
Hey, and President Obama did not win North Carolina in 2012.
He lost it the second time by a fraction, but what's going to happen is that state is a lot more diverse today than it is, and there's a lot more women there.
Losing's losing, Mr. Mayor. Losing's losing.
President Clinton.
Who's... go ahead. You're rapping?
You can get. I was, but you can get final word.
What does she need in a vice presidential nominee? What category should she be trying to fill?
Well, I think that's Secretary Clinton's decision, but of course he needs somebody who can actually take over the presidency and be the American president. That's rule number one.
Mr. Mayor, good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.